Hey, this is part 2 of the Building a Computer series. I'm going to be showing you how to choose the correct processor and what it actually does for your computer. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments or message me. I'll respond probably in about an hour. The first thing is to figure out your price range. High is around $1,000, medium probably $500 or $700. Low is going to be around $200 to $400, but I don't really recommend that. I just would say to save up a little bit more and go medium range, because you really can do a lot more. Okay, so after you got that figured out, you can now start picking out your processor. There are two main sites for computer parts, Newegg and Tigerdirect. Both of them are good, but I prefer Newegg because it has deals and you can do a lot of combos, and usually they're just the better deal. Just remember, even though I prefer something or tell you about what to choose, do your own research and find what you like. You can go on other sites that probably aren't really well known, but you can still find better things there for cheap because they are just trying to get rid of it. Okay, so there are two main CPU brands, Intel and AMD. Okay, so now that you're on the site, you're going to want to go to CPU section, which is usually under the computer hardware, or you can just search CPU. And I chose Intel Core i5 2500K because it's known for being good quality and it's really good for the price. Speaking of the price, usually it'll be the most expensive part because it just is basically the brain of the computer. But if you're doing gaming, you're also gonna probably run up $200 on the graphics card. And now that you're on the thing, you want to go to details because it'll list everything. Okay, so I have to scroll down here. CPU socket type is what you're going to look for when you're doing a motherboard, because if you don't get the right socket type, it's not going to fit there. AMD and Intel have completely different things. Intel has basically, you just stick it on there and then you just put down a cover and it's done. It's not hard on AMD. I don't really have experience with it at all, but I just don't really prefer it. Okay, so gigahertz means basically how fast it is, and it's right here isn't how fast it actually is, it's just before you overclock it. Overclocking is basically you put it to the max, you do something that they don't really suggest, but it's very lenient because they put K in the title, meaning you probably are just overclocking it, and it's the model that you should choose. So if it burns out, you're basically guaranteed a replacement. Okay, so getting back on everything. It comes with graphics, usually all of them do, and cooling device, almost all of them come with a cooling device. A heatsink is what basically just goes over it, and it's just a fan that cools the thing. It's really easy to put on. You can also get Cooler Master, I think, and something else right at the best. It's because the default ones really aren't that great, but they're just there for you because unless you're overclocking, I don't really see the necessary point in getting a new one. Okay, so you're going to want to go to the manufacturer product page, which lists basically everything. Newegg doesn't usually list everything, it's just the basics and what you kind of only need. But for more detailed stuff, like you want to know compatibility, what you can really use with it, just go to here. Okay, this is the manufacturer page. Cores meaning basically sections of the processor. Say you have 4 cores and something takes 8 seconds to load, it splits them into 4 different pieces, so it would take only 2 seconds to load. It's just dividing, basically. Not everything can run like that, but most games and things can.